My values as a resident of the town of Warrenton, my commitment to volunteerism, and my expertise in municipal budgets make me well positioned to tackle the current budget crisis that Warrenton finds itself in. As I've walked around Ward 3, I've found that transparency to the budget is important, and so we can balance the budget. It's hard to know what you can fix if you can't see it. As a firefighter, safety is important to me, and as a planning commissioner, I've had the opportunity to examine the needs of the Third Ward in connectivity and sidewalks and overall pedestrian access. I didn't start walking these streets for this election. I've been walking these streets and serving the public my entire life. I look forward to your continued conversation and also hopefully your vote on May 3rd.
Hi everybody, I'm Bob Kravitz. I'm the current incumbent for Ward 4. Thank you, some of my constituents in the back of the room. Good to see you here. Of everybody up here, I have the least seniority of living in the town of Warrenton. My wife and I have lived here since 2010. Before that, we spent 3 years in Arizona. Before that, we lived in the county, and we missed it so much that after 3 years in Arizona, we decided to come back. I've served for the representative for Ward 4 since 2012. I look forward to a tough campaign. Hopefully, I'll be successful. If I am successful, I would like to spend another 4 years serving the people of Ward 4. But let me tell my current colleagues and my soon-to-be colleagues, this is not an easy job. The learning curve is very, very steep. And you're not going to know everything there is to know in 1 year, 2 years, even 4 years. So I suggest whoever wins, be prepared to spend a lot of time in studying a lot of issues and be prepared to make good, reasonable, rational decisions.
I guess I'm still on. Thank you for the warning. Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Carter. I'm running in the 5th Ward, which this building sits on, and live just down the street in Old Orchard Lane with my family. My wife Carrie, my 2 daughters Madison and Emma, and my son Jack, who is helping me today. I'm very excited about running for this office, and I first want to say I really appreciate the fact that those that were unopposed are still invited to be a part of this. I think it's essential that we are able to answer questions that are posed. Thank you, Lou, for creating them. We want to be a part of the dialogue, and I think if you are not opposed, unfortunately, very often we're not heard, and you don't have the opportunity to interact, so I'm really grateful for that today. I, as a profession, have spent 35 years in the hotel business, hotel and lodging. I currently run Airlie as the managing director. I've been doing that for 15 years. This town is very special to me, as it's a place where I'm raising my children. My wife and I and the kids walk past this building often and want to see this town continue to prosper. This town has been an amazing place for a couple of 100 years. In fact, the prosperity in this town, back in the 1860s, Warrenton was considered one of the wealthiest communities in the entire South. So prosperity is a part of what we are. And I want to see that we continue that for generations to come, certainly for my children and their children. There's a lot that needs to be done. Our council, current council and previous councils have done a fantastic job of taking care of this community, but there's much more to be done, and the times are changing. So we need to focus on our budget, and I think many of you have seen the difficulty that represents. I think the current town council is on their way to making some very tough decisions, and I encourage them to make those decisions, most of which before I take office. The budget is only one. There's, as you know, growth in this community is a very important topic, and it's important that we all embrace that with the utmost professionalism and concern. concern for the future. We want this community to be sustainable and to be a very beautiful place to continue to live. So I will do the best I can for you. Unless there's a very stringent write-in campaign, I hope to see you all July 1st on my first meeting. And I'm accessible. If you need to talk to me or would like to share, I will be here for you. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you again to all of our candidates. Thank you. There we go. Thank you again to all of our candidates for participating. I'd like to now introduce Lou Emerson, the editor of Fauquier Now. He will be our moderator for this afternoon. We will go until 6 o'clock. We're right on time. Look at that. 6 o'clock with the Q&A, and then we'll wrap up, like I said, with about 30 minutes of individual time that you can be able to chat with your representatives one-on-one. Lou.
Okay, thanks. What I hope we can do is just have a conversation. Typically when we do these things, they're a little more formal. I address candidates by their last names. If you don't mind, I'm going to call you by your first names today. And what we're going to do is start with each topic with the Ward 3 candidates, because that is the contested race, and then move on to others. I hope we can move quickly and cover a lot of ground. Okay? All right. Brett, you'll be first, followed by Ken on this one. What do you think of the town manager's proposed budget, which calls for a 3.5% real estate tax increase and the transfer of about $700,000 to balance the general fund for fiscal 2017? So I'm interested in your assessment of the budget and how you assess Warrenton's financial outlook over the next 4 years, the next council's term. Brett?
Thank you, Lou. I'm sure everybody's had a chance to look at the budget that's proposed from the town manager. Right now, as it stands, we're looking at an over 200% increase in our residential tax rate. We're also still spending money out of our reserve. So as we move forward down the path of whatever it takes us to balance the budget, we're going to have to make some decisions. We had a water and sewer increase in January. We're getting ready to have a water and sewer increase in July. Even after we've had 2 increases in water sewer, and if the council adopts the increase in residential tax rate, we're still going to be spending out of the reserve. Down the road, we need to figure how we're going to get out of the hole. I remember a time when Mayor Lineweaver left office, we had about a $20 million surplus in town. As we continue to spend out of that, we're going to have to make some decisions. Hard decisions probably, as to where are our levels of service, and do we want to keep them where they are? To me, the easiest thing to do off the bat is we need to try and fill some of our vacant commercial properties that we already have. We have storefronts that are empty. We need to be able to spread our business tax over more businesses and see if we can, year by year, climb out of the hole. We have some adjustment to where we're not spending as much out of the reserve, but this year again, we're still spending out of the reserve.
I think that Warrenton has enjoyed a very comfortably low real estate tax rate for quite some time. My yearly residential real estate tax is about $61 a year. I think the absolute increase for the typical resident from say $60 to $180 is not perhaps all that significant, but I think that a relative increase that over triples it in one fell swoop is maybe a little bit, so that's a pretty large, substantial increase at one time, especially when you consider that, all the residents of Warrenton have seen their utility rates go up once in January, they'll see them go up again in July. The county has just approved a 4-cent increase in the county real estate taxes, so it all adds up. I agree with Brett that I think that one of the easiest and strongest ways that we can inch toward is to, build on the business community, bring new businesses, encourage existing businesses to expand if they have the capability to do that. Looking at the tax structure in the recent town crier, I think our business taxes are in line with those of the county, and I don't see increasing those for individual businesses. On the other hand, one thing that might be right for consideration would be an increase in the cigarette taxes. I think they're towards the lower end of the communities that were included in that algorithm. That might be one way that we can, that's certainly one way that we can inch a little closer towards balancing out.
Okay, let's just go to Jerry and then across.
When you come to raising taxes, property taxes drop from 18 cents down to $1.50, go back to 3 cents, go back to 5 cents. I'm in favor of doing it in increments, and I would be in favor of going to 3 cents, which would mean on a $350,000 house, we'd be paying about $120, a little less than $120. If you're talking about going the full amount, then you're talking about an increase of about $173 on a $350,000 house. Along with what is going on in the county and they're raising their property taxes, I feel like to jump to 5 cents would be a big jump. And I'd really like to see them just do to the 3 cents. Property taxes have not carried their weight. They've been carried by the depot tax in Warrenton. And we've got to get back into that group where the property taxes are doing it. At the same time, we need to start thinking about cutting spending. And when Cole was here, he was talking about not having to dip into the general fund. This year we're going to dip into it to the tune of about $693,000. Last year, 2016, it was about $770,000. Sooner or later, the general fund is going to run out and continue to go down at the rate we're going. So I would recommend that we look at what we can cut in the budget. There are a number of places to cut in the budget. I'm really a fiscal conservative. I look at what is going on in the budget, what we're funding. There are not too many places we can go. Payroll is the biggest problem that we have, not a problem, but the biggest expense that we have. Next, that the comprehensive plan has to be done. That's another $173,000. It definitely has to be done. So there's certain things that we cannot cut, but there are some things that we can look into.
I think I got turned off again, by the way.
Yeah,